this process, you will use this process na para pare-pareho na tayo ng value. Di na tayo magdulukso ng dugo. Pare-pareho na tayo ng value this time. Again, ito ang gagamitin ng formula uh, para pare-pareho tayo ng values. But in your design calculations or in your design project, you can still use the Muller diagram para mas madali. Yun. But again, dito, sa discussion natin and moving forward, ito na yung gagamitin natin sa mga exams natin and even your problem sets and quizzes. Yun. So let's have the discussion. And any questions, paki-reserve sa end or may tanong ako at the end of the class. May tanong ako at the end of the class and kung may tanong kayo, i-reserve nyo din. I'll entertain all the questions uh, after our discussion. So, yun. Let's have it. Let's have the discussion na. So our topic for today is about refrigerants. Dito, guys, I want you to take note of the values of A ng iba't ibang refrigerant din. Kasi moving forward nga, ito na yung gagamitin nating calculations nyo. So, let's first discuss primary and secondary refrigerant. Primary refrigerant, these are those refrigerants that are used as working fluids in refrigeration systems. They undergo phase change while providing refrigeration. So, ano yung ano yung mga primary refrigerants na yon? Yun yung kalimitan nating ginagamit sa mga sample problems natin. That's R12, R22, R717, uh, R134A. So, yun, yung mga yon. Kasi, di ba, nag-undergo sila ng phase change during compression, during condensation, and yun. Uh, and while secondary refrigerant are those liquids that are used only to transport energy from one location to other. They do not undergo phase change. Water and brines are the commonly used secondary refrigerants. So, yung secondary refrigerant natin is uh, that we use to carry and transport energy only. Kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, 'di ba? Sa analysis natin in condenser and in evaporator, meron tayong refrigerant gumagamit tayo ng tubig and some problems use brine as well as the working fluid. So those are secondary refrigerants. Then if the operating temperatures are above zero, then pure water can be used as secondary refrigerant. For example, in large air conditioning systems, then antifreezes or brines are used when refrigerant is required at sub-zero temperatures, like for example, in cold storage. And the commonly used secondary refrigerants are the solutions of water, ethylene glycol, propylene glycol, and calcium chloride. Oops. Yeah, we have already tackled some of this. Uh, we select refrigerants sa design ninyo based on these following key requirements. First is the thermodynamic and thermophysical properties, which is uh, which is yung mga properties na ating kinukuha from tables. The next is the environmental and safety properties. Ito kasi we have to make sure that we have to make sure always that it will not contribute likely sa carbon footprint natin. Then third would be economics. Then ito, we have already know this requirements, suction pressure at a given evaporator temperature. The saturation pressure should always be above atmospheric for prevention of air or moisture ingress into the system and ease of leak detection. Higher suction pressure is better as it leads to smaller compressor displacement. Yan. Kung mapapansin yun, I hope you also notice that one. hindi bumababa ng atmospheric pressure ang ating suction pressure sa compressor. This is the reason. And then, discharge pressure at a given condenser temperature, ito dapat ay should be as small as possible to allow light well construction of compressor, condenser, etc. Kasi kapag mataas ang discharge pressure natin, most likely magkakameron ng sira yung compressor natin. And uh, one of the reason of that as well ay mas nagde-degrade yung property ng ating refrigerant, and that would cause uh, ng pagkasira din ng ating condenser once pumasok yung refrigerant natin sa entrance ng condenser. And pressure ratio, will be utilizing this. This should be as small as possible for high volumetric efficiency. Will be You'll be appreciating this kapag diniscuss natin yung sample problem natin. Then latent heat of vaporization, ito kasi kailangan malaki siya, should be as large as possible so that the required mass flow rate per unit cooling capacity will be small only. Kasi kapag mataas yung ating latent heat of vaporization, ito yung amount of energy to undergo phase change. Ito ang latent heat of vaporization. So, kailangan malaki yan para syempre, di ba, yung formula natin is MCP or M mass times your enthalpy. And that enthalpy is your latent heat of vaporization during phase change. So, kapag mataas yon, it would only require a smaller amount of uh, flow rate ng ating refrigerant. And then, yeah, these are somewhat contradictory as the operating pressures, temperatures, and latent heat of vaporization are related by the Clapeyron equation. And since the change in entropy of vaporization is relatively small, from this equation, above it equation, it can be shown that this, yan, mamaya ito gagamitin natin to sa formulas natin. So you take note of these formulas. And then, an isentropic index of compression should be as small as possible so that the temperature rise during compression would also be small. Liquid specific heat should also be small so that degree of subcooling will be large, leading to smaller amount of flash gas at evaporator inlet. Vapor specific heat should be large so that the degree of superheating will be small. Thermal conductivity in both liquid as well as vapor phase should be high for higher heat transfer coefficients. Viscosity should be small in both liquid and vapor phases for smaller frictional pressure drops. You will all appreciate this kapag nag-discuss tayo ng first topic natin sa uh, after midterms, which is more about effects of superheating and subcooling ng ating system. So ito yung need nating i-consider lahat ng itong mga considerations na ito. Yan, you already know how to look on this. Yan, the thermodynamic properties are interrelated, mainly depend on normal boiling point, critical temperature, molecular weight, and structure. The normal boiling point indicates the useful levels as it is directly related to the operating pressures. A high critical temperature yields higher COP due to smaller compressor superheat and smaller flash gas losses. The important properties such as latent heat of vaporization and specific heat depend on the molecular weight and structure of the molecule. Yan, environmental and safety properties. Uh, Important environmental and safety properties are ozone depletion potential. Dapat daw ang ating ODP ay zero So, dapat walang chlorine and bromine atoms. Iso-solve natin yan mamaya. You will determine that these atoms mamaya when we name refrigerants. Same as with our GWP or global warming potential. This should have a low GWP value as possible to minimize the problem of global warming. And total equivalent warming index, refrigerants with as low as a value of TEWI are preferable from global warming point of view. So when you evaluate when you evaluate your refrigerant sa inyong pagde-design, you have to make sure that these are all included sa objectives ninyo. Kasi again, one of our goal in designing today is sustainability. So dapat yung pipiliin yung system should have or should consider these parameters. And toxicity as well, this should have this should be non-toxic. Yan. Yan o, sabi dito, refrigerants such as R12, R22 are non-toxic in the presence of air. However, in the presence of an open flame, they decompose and release harmful gases. And the degree of hazard depends on first, amount of refrigerant used com- in comparison with the total space, the type of occupancy, presence of open flames, odor, and maintenance condition. Then it should also be non-flammable and uh, if you are using flammable refrigerants, special precautions should be taken to avoid accidents. Then there is six safety groups na dinefine ng ASHRAE. That's A1 to A3 and B1 to B3, where your group A1 are least hazardous, while refrigerants belonging to group B3 are most hazardous. Yan. Other important properties, chemical stability, compatibility, miscibility with lubricating oils, dielectric strength, ease of leak detection. And other for economic properties, syempre yung cost, availability niya sa market, and as well as your storage and handling. So we do have this classifications of refrigerants. We have the pure fluids subdivided into two, synthetic and natural. And the other one is mixtures, which is azeotropic or zeotropic. Let's dig deeper into this. Uh, yan. Designation or the naming of refrigerant. Since marami na tayong refrigerants na na-develop over the years, we have adopted a numbering system to designate various refrigerants. Lahat ng refrigerants are designated by R. Oops. Una, lagi. R followed by a unique number. Let's say, ito, for fully saturated and halogenated compounds, ito ay yung mga derivatives of alkanes. So, ito yung general formula ng alkanes. Yung naming natin dyan is RXYZ, wherein your X indicates the number of carbon atoms plus 1. Tandaan yan. Yung Y mo is a hydrogen atoms minus 1. And Z indicates the number of fluorine. Then, yung balance natin indicates the number of chlorine atoms. And again, gaya na nasabi natin kanina, we should have not chlorine atoms when we talk about environmental properties. And only two digits indicates that the value of X is 0. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ang pangalan ng refrigerant, ang X doon ay 0. Tandaan yon. Kapag 0 or kapag 2 digits lang yung refrigerant natin, ang X doon, let's say R22 or R12, yan. 2 digits lang yung mga refrigerants natin, ibig sabihin, your value of X doon is equal to 0. Yun. Let's have this. Let's evaluate this. Number of carbon atoms. Ang X doon ay 0. Then, since yung formula natin ay we add 1, di ba? So that's 0 plus 1. Meron yung 1 or 0 yung X natin, yung number of atoms. Since kailangan natin itong mga values na to for evaluation, nag-a-add tayo ng 1 kasi yun yung standard naming natin. But you have to always remember na kapag two digits lang yung refrigerant natin, that's always X equals 0. And yung Y natin is equal to 2. That's your number of hydrogen atoms. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. Kasi 'di ba dito nagma-minus 1 tayo. Yan. So kaya siya may minus 1 dito equals 1. You have to take note of this. As well as your Z. Your Z is your number of fluorine atoms. 2. So kaya yung ating pangalan ng refrigerant is R22. Kasi 0, 0, yung X ay 0, yung Y ay 2, yung Z ay 2. Saan natin gagamitin itong value natin na minus 1 natin tsaka ito? That is to balance. Balancing should always be 4 minus this number of atoms, yung H plus F. So 4 minus 1 minus 2. That is your number of chlorine atoms. Kapag nag-balance tayo, that will be the number of chlorine atoms. So, chemical formula natin, if you check the chemical formula, R22, it would be CHClF2. Yan. So, sa exam, you try to do this, you try to evaluate this kasi most likely sa exam, ito yung ibibigay. Ito ang ibibigay. Itong chemical formula. Chemical formula ang ibibigay and you have to derive the name. Ito. So, meron kayong list na table, 'di ba? May table kayo. So, ah yon may table kayo. So, most likely yan lang yung mga refrigerants na lalabas sa exam kung ano nandiyan sa table. So, kahit pa sa uluhin nyo itong mga chemical formulas na yan, pag hindi nyo naman naipakita itong XYZ doon, mali pa rin yun.
Pasok mo sa ano,
Yun. So, ano yung A? Sabi dito, yung A stands for isomer. Excuse me. Molecules having same chemical composition but different atomic arrangement. Let's say yan. R134 and R134A.
bakit nag-chicken?
Yan. So, yan lang yung need natin sa naming. Tandaan nyo yon. Then, kapag naman inorganic refrigerants, these are designated by number 7, followed by sorry, these are designated by number 7 followed by the molecular weight of the refrigerant. So, kapag nag-name tayo, saglit lang. Give me 1 minute. Ayan. So, pag inorganic refrigerants, tandaan ninyo, ito ay nagsisimula sa number 7 palagi. Then, followed by the molecular weight of the refrigerant, rounded off. So, let's say, ammonia. Kaya ang ammonia is R717 kasi ano ba ang ammonia? That's NH3. NH3. So, anong N? N natin, molecular weight yan is 14. Hydrogen is 1 times 3 is 17. So this is 17. Yan. Kaya ang ammonia na refrigerant is R717. So let's say carbon dioxide. So ganun din, carbon dioxide, CO2. Your carbon is 12. Your oxygen is 16 times 2, 32. 32 plus 12 is 44. Kaya siya R744. Yan. So ito, 'di ba? Alam natin ng air is 28.97. So yan, kaya siya R729. Then ang water, H2O, ito ay 1 times 2 is 2, O is 16, 16 plus 2 is 18. So that is R718. So ganyan, mag-name kapag inorganic refrigerants. Tandaan yan. When we say inorganic refrigerants, dapat nagsisimula sa number 7. Yan. This one, uh, refrigerant mixtures, ito naman ay mixture ng 2 or more pure refrigerant. So this is azeotropic and zeotropic. Ang azeotropic, usually binary mixtures that behave like a pure liquid designated by 500 series. Let's say R500, that is a mixture of, saglit. Yeah. Yan. These are the samples of azeotropic mixture. Yan, series of 500 yan. And then zeotropic mixtures, this exhibit a significant temperature variation during constant pressure change process such as condensation and evaporation, designated by 400 series. So, zeotropic kapag 400 ang ating mga refrigerants. Tandaan nyo lang yan, tandaan nyo lang. Kasi baka ganyan yung lumabas, tanungin kayo kung anong azeotropic at zeotropic. But guys, di nyo kailangan mag-worry. Basta pag may exam na, ang sasabihin ko naman kayo kung anong mga nandun sa kung anong mga need yung aralin. It's just that ngayon fina-finalize pa siya pag bimitingan pa mamaya. Yon. Pag hydrocarbons, alam nyo, dapat familiar kayo dito. Pag mga hydrocarbons, yan. These are the examples of hydrocarbons. We have saturated and unsaturated. So tandaan nyo lang yan, yung mga values na yan. Examples natin yan. Yung hydrocarbons natin, propane, butane, and butane and isobutane. And then, kung mapapansin nyo, ito yung pareho sila ng designation. It's just that isomer tong isa. Kaya mayroon tayong A. Yan. And as unsaturated, that's R1150 and R1270. Yan. Comparison between different refrigerants. Synthetic refrigerants that were commonly used for refrigeration are, gaya na sabi ko, R11, R12, R22, R502. Yan. Yun yung mga kalimitan din. However, ito nga is phased out na. Yung kalimitan dito, mga phased out na siya. Why? Kasi meron nga siyang chlorine atoms. Kaya fine-phase out yan. So, dapat sa design nyo, you consider this. Then, the synthetic replacements na for the older refrigerants nga na ginagamit ngayon is yung R134A natin and other blends of hydrofluorocarbons. But yan, generally synthetic refrigerants are non-toxic and non-flammable. However, compared to the natural refrigerants, the synthetic refrigerants offer lower performance and they also have higher global warming potential. As a result, nga, the synthetic refrigerants face an uncertain future. So, kino-consider lagi natin yan. Kino-consider natin yung environmental effect. Kasi, syempre, again nga, we are all after sustainability. Then, the oldest and most commonly used natural refrigerant is ammonia. This has good thermodynamic and thermophysical environmental properties. However, it is toxic, not compatible with some of the common materials of construction, such as copper, which somewhat restricts its application. Then other natural refrigerants that are being suggested are hydrocarbons and carbon dioxide. And in spite of practical problems, these refrigerants are being considered as they are environmentally safe, inexpensive, and offer good performance. So that is how you are going to weigh in yung inyong ah, pagpili ng refrigerant. So you research, kailangan ko ba ammonia pa rin ang gagamitin ko for optimum design? Eh alam kong siya ay toxic and hindi compatible sa ibang metals, or should I stick with using synthetic na more na non-toxic and non-flammable, but uh, yun nga siya ay nafe-phase out na. So you have to weigh in that. You have to weigh in yung mga environmental aspects natin sa pagpili ng mismong refrigerant nyo sa inyong design. So yan, pakitandaan nito, guys. This would be the values of K natin sa solution natin. If you can recall, di ba, pag nagsosolve tayo ng volumetric efficiencies, gumagamit tayo ng K. So, moving forward, tandaan ito. Ang R11, pag gumamit tayo ng R11, your K should be 1.13. And kita nyo dito, since ito ay synthetic, meron na ditong mga suggested na pamalit. So, i-research nyo, ano ba yung maganda dyan? Then sa R12, remember your K is equal to 1.126. Hindi to ibibigay sa exam, hindi ibibigay sa exam. Then R22 is 1.166. R134A is, I'll follow you up with this. Tinanong ko to tate kay ma'am. Nakalimutan ko lang siya ilagay dito. Let's skip muna yung R134A. Then R717, we use 1.3. Anong binigay ko sa inyong given dito?
04.
1.304? Yon, 1.304 ang gagamitin natin sa R717, 1.304. Then R744 is 1.3. Then R718 is 1.33. R608 is 1.086. Ito, tandaan nyo ito mga values na to. But then again, di ba, sinabi ko naman sa inyo, kalimitan lang naman ginagamit is R12, R22, R134A, R717, yon. Pwedeng gamitin din natin ang R718 as well as R744. Pwede natin gamitin din yon. Yon. So, again, pakitandaan ng mga values na yun kasi, again, gagamitin natin tong bagong formula na mas exact. So, refrigerant mixtures offer the advantage of tailoring the composition to suit various temperature requirements. It is also possible to control the properties such as toxicity, flammability, oil miscibility by manipulating the composition. Hence, they are finding greater use. However, since the composition of zeotropic mixtures change due to leakage, use of these substances require greater care. And the design of equipment for this, using this refrigerant mixtures, is also more complex. So, yun. That's it for the refrigerants. So, bakit ba natin again diniscuss yun? Kasi, una, need nyo yun sa design, kailangan nyo mag-evaluate ng gagamitin nyo. And pangalawa, is that we are going to utilize this new equation. I know, I believe, ay familiar kayo dito. Kasi, alam ko, well, dapat nadaanan nyo tong equation na to sa inyong combustion. So, ano ba yung tinutukoy ko? Let's have this. Saglit. Maghanap lang ako ng given na may paggagamitan nun. Sorry. Hindi, hinahanap ko lang pala guys yung sa R134. R134. Meron ba dito? Ayun, 12. Ammonia. Wala. Ipapaliwag ko sa inyo yung value ng R134A. Kailangan ko lang siyang halukwatin. Yan. So, ano yung sinasabi kong formula? That is our ah kung maaalala ninyo, sorry. Kung maaalala ninyo, 'di ba? If we evaluate, nasaan na ba 'yun? If we evaluate our system, 'di ba? Yung state point 1 natin, lagi this is at superheated vapor, 'di ba? This is at superheated vapor. Sorry, saturated vapor. Then papatak tayo, pupunta tayo ng state point 2, nag-evaluate tayo na superheated, 'di ba? Na superheated vapor. Then gumagamit tayo ng P2 at S2 na equal sa S1. Then titingin tayo sa Moliere, 'di ba? Titingin tayo sa Moliere. Or kapag R134A ginagawa natin, nag-i-interpolate tayo kasi may values tayo from table ng R134A. So that's still gonna be the process kapag R134A ang value natin. Kasi meron tayong table for that. May table tayo for superheated vapor. So yung process na yun pa rin ang gagamitin natin. But for other refrigerants na walang table for superheated vapor, we are going to evaluate the compressor. So, 'di ba? Ang process 1 to 2 natin is sa compressor. Sa compressor to nag-o-occur. So, let's say, ito yung compressor, sorry. Ito yung compressor na, oops. Ito yung compressor natin. Let's say, ito yung compressor natin. Then, 'di ba? H1 natin, pag nag-energy balance tayo, this is your H1. Then, this is your H2. Then since 'di ba, sabi natin sa compressor, nagre-require tayo ng power input to drive the compressor. Para gumana ang compressor, need natin ng power input. So, ibig sabihin meron tayong need na input din ng work ng compressor, your WC. So doing energy balance, we could say that our H2 is equal to H1 plus WC. 'Di ba? Yan yon. So from this, makukuha natin si H2. Kasi meron tayong H1. Paano si WC? Paano natin makukuha yan? That is through our formula na WC is equal to K over K minus 1 P1 V1 times P2 over P1 quantity K minus 1 over K minus 1. Yan. Ito. I hope you are familiar with this I hope you are familiar with this I hope you are familiar with this equation kasi ginamit nyo to sa pag-evaluate ng compressor sa combustion engines, no? So, yan. We'll be utilizing this. This is simplified na kasi dapat siya ay kung magre-refer kayo sa mga books, this should be K over K minus 1 P E V S P C over P E K minus 1 over K minus 1. So ginawa na natin siyang in terms of numbers kasi ano ba tong evaporator pressure? 'Di ba that's your P4 na equal sa P1. Then ato tong suction pressure suction volume nyo, that's your V1. Then yan, PC mo condenser, that's your P2. Then PE evaporator, that's your P1. So ito. So from this, hindi na natin kailangan gumamit ng Moliere diagram, makukuha natin si H2. makukuha na agad natin sa H2. So pag hinanap, pag tinanong ko ano compressor work, then you can just use this formula. You can just use this formula, WC equals yan. Then pag kailangan ay compressor power, times mo lang ng mass ng refrigerant, ang inyong WC. Yon. So, yan, remember that. So let's try. Let's try solving this problem. Let's have let's change this. Let's change this kasi ammonia na naman siya. And alam nyo naman yung K nun is 1.304. Let's have this in R22. Let's use R22. R22. A commercial plant uses an R22 refrigeration system operating on a simple saturated cycle with an evaporator pressure of negative 20 degrees Celsius. Excuse me.
Bila yung 99%.
That is T.
Kung surprise ba daw?
Price na naman natin.
Dapat kakaba-kaba na sa 90.
Kumbaga hindi pa sila tapos
Bakit wala?
Evaporator, evaporator temperature, that is your T1, and temperature natin is negative 20 degrees Celsius, and the condenser temperature of 35 degrees Celsius, that is your T3 at 35 degrees Celsius. The facility plans to produce 5,000 kilograms of ice. So that is our
Mababalik-balik
our 5,000 kilograms is our mass of ice
Wala naman yung, yun naman yung work no?
at negative 12 degrees Celsius of what starting from water initially at 29 degrees Celsius. So from this analysis, you have to understand na this would be your mass ng ano yan? Mass ng ano yan, guys? Based dito sa statement na to, plans to produce 5,000 kilograms of ice at negative 12 degrees Celsius na nag-start daw yon from water at 29 degrees Celsius. So anong nangyari doon? Meron tayong temperature drop, nagtanggal tayo ng heat from water, 'di ba? Nagtanggal tayo ng heat from that. So this is
Kumaya ako magsabi.
Para alam na din natin how to draw yung aluminum fraction diagram. So we have here a promissory note requires payment of 1,200 at the end of each year for 5 years.
ano siya? Mass ng ano yan? Mass ng evaporator, mass ng water sa evaporator. That's 5,000 kilogram. Oops. Again, guys, mass ng sa evaporator yan kasi nagtanggal tayo ng heat from water kaya nga siya naging yellow. 'Di ba? Nagtanggal tayo ng heat from that. So yung mass ng water,
Hindi naman ka mag-extend dun sa
then
14 na.
What
40 plus.
market price would an inventory pay?
entire freezing process must be completed within 20 hours. So your time is 20 hours.
compound
And
700.
it is estimated that heat losses amount to 20% of the total heat removed from the water during ice production. So ibig sabihin, we have our losses, our heat added
Present value, that's
is
6 today
Binabayad lahat.
minus 1 plus
yung actual natin is 0.8 times your QA. QA actual. Guys, pag in-evaluate nyo yan, since nagtanggal tayo ng heat, di ba? That would be your heat addition sa evaporator. Again, naiintindihan nyo ba yun? Kasi di ba yun yung ating pinag-usapan last time? Pag nagtanggal ng heat from the water or from the system, that will be the heat added. That will be the heat added sa ating evaporator. So yan. Then the specific heat of ice is 2.094. So let's have that CP. Oops, nasaan na yun? It's 2.094 kilojoule per kilogram Celsius. And the latent heat of fusion of water is 335 kilojoule per kilogram. H ng water ay 335 kilojoule per kilogram. We are asked to determine the required refrigerant mass flow rate, MR, heat rejected at the condenser, that is heat rejected at the condenser, that's your QR, and your compressor power requirement, WC. Then your schematic diagram, you draw
Kailan ko kaya makukuha?
H 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan. Paano po yan? Wala tayong pressure. 'Di ba? Wala tayong pressure. Wala tayong pressure. So, anong gagawin natin? Unang step at state point 1, since alam natin na ito ay superheated vapor, you need, sorry, this is at saturated vapor. Saturated vapor. You need to get your P1 at TSAT. What is your TSAT? That's your T1 at negative 20 degrees Celsius. So therefore, you get interpolation. So this is your T, this is your P. You interpolate. Interpolate nyo, ano yung mga values na binigay dyan? Meron bang exact value for R22? May exact value ba yan? Give me the value. Exact value ba yan sa table, R22?
Yes
At
po.
negative 20 degrees Celsius? Pakitype ng sagot. So, that is 0.
from the starting from the first years. Yung ating difference,
Negative 20.
your payment
Sorry. 0.
So, sa
24531. So, hindi tayo mag-interpolate kasi sakto pala siya sa table.
formula for
So, your P1
effort and madadagdagan ko ng interest from
24531 megapascal. Then, what is our H? Is equal to the Hg at this value. At P1 and TSAT. This is equal to 397.06 kilojoule per kilogram. Next, at state point 2, At state point 2,
So, kaya, nagkaroon tayo ng multiplier for
paano natin makukuha ang pressure 2? We know that pressure 2 is equal to pressure 3. 'Di ba? Pressure 2 is equal to pressure 3. So, you evaluate pressure 3. I-evaluate muna ang pressure 3. Ang pressure 3 is at Tsat equal to, anong temperature 3 natin? 35 degrees Celsius, di ba? 35 degrees Celsius. And ito, you get ang PSAT. Kuhanin ang PSAT. Ito, P3. Kasi equal naman to sa P2. Kuhanin ang PSAT.
effective interest rate. So, he agrees to pay his
This time, nasa table ba siya? 35? May 35 ba sa table? Wala. So you interpolate ang 34 at 36. That would be 1.3351. Guys, yan. 1.3, this time, 351. Yung value ng Megapascal. It should be 1.3551. Sorry guys,
nasulat ko dyan
dito
is
pala sa 1, kailangan din natin
1.3351,
ng
but the
V1. Sorry
solution
guys.
here,
Dito kay
yung
1,
solution dito is
kuhanin natin ang VGK1.
lahat ay
Kuhanin natin ang VGK1.
1.3351. So,
At
i-recompute nyo siya
P1 and
mamaya,
PSAT.
i-recompute nyo
Balik
siya
tayo kay
mamaya
state point 1
using
muna.
the correct value,
Nakalimutan natin si V1.
1.3551. Okay? So, yun. But again, just for the continuation
ano ang
ng calculation natin,
ng
we use this. We use
state point
muna this
1.
value, 1.3351. Ito muna yung gamitin. Just for continuity ng solution.
0.09268. 0.09268 cubic meter per kilogram. Yan. So nakuha natin si pressure
Ano
2,
yung
di ba?
anong
This is
concern?
also equal to pressure 2. Now, ang kailangan natin
Ano concern ng nag-raise ng hand? May
ay
concern? Again guys, ito muna ang gagamiting
work,
value. Ito
di ba?
muna ang
Ang
gagamitin
kailangan natin
nating
ay
value,
work ni compressor.
1.3351. Just
You
for this
evaluate
discussion.
dito kay
Pero the
state point
correct
2,
value is
ngayon si work.
1.3551 talaga.
So you
Yun,
substitute,
let's proceed.
ano ang K ni R22? Base kanina dito, R22 is 1.166. We're in it again, your K, sulat natin dito is, oops, 1.166. So you substitute K over K minus 1. Sorry.
sa bangko. So, ang hinahanap natin is ang annual
You substitute P1, V1 times P2 over P1, K minus 1 over K, raised to K minus 1 over K, tas nakalayo si minus 1. Yan, you substitute yung values natin dito.
1 plus I raised to the root A over I times yung ating raised plus I raised to K. So this is D is equals to ano yung B natin? That is 200,000 equals to K 1 minus 1 plus I ano yung ating interest rate? So that is
What is our work ng compressor? You substitute.
ilang payments na rin.
Guys, since tandaan ninyo, itong values natin ng P1 ay naka-megapascal. Naka-megapascal yan. Eh yung ating V is in terms of kilogram. Well, that would be fine pala. Makukuha natin na sagot dito is still kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, kailangan nyo siya palang gawing kilopascal para maging kilojoule yung sagot natin. Kailangan naka-kilopascal to. I-kilopascal nyo si P1 nyo at si P2. And give me the value.
So that is 48,000
I need na kilojoule per kilogram. Guys, work ng compressor yung hinahanap natin.
At the end of the unit, first statements are made at the beginning of each. So, yung formula for the ordinary annuity, madadagdagan siya ng ating bayan. From here on, nabuo siya
This should be your work ng compressor equal to 43.56170899 kilojoule per kilogram. Dapat you were able to get this answer.
pesos in its in the Bank of Asia at the beginning of each year. So, starting now, for the next 10 years,
Guys, walang nakakuha ng sagot. I-solve nyo siya, i-substitute nyo. Again, binigay yung value natin ng R22, yung K equal to 1.166, di ba? Doon sa table kanina. You will just substitute there the
Yan.
values of
The
your
next
P1,
natin
your V1, as
you
well as your
solve
P2.
for
Your
your
H2
P2.
ninyo, again, ang gagamitin dapat is 1.3351 and you have to obtain the value of 43. Dapat 43 yung lalabas and walang nakakuha ng sagot. Bakit? Bakit hindi siya nasagutan? H2 would be 440.621709 kilojoule per kilogram. Then yung H2 nakuha natin yan, that's just your H1 plus your work ng compressor.
Yan,
Dapat
next, we
nakukuha
solve
nyo
for
yan. You take note of
State
this.
point 3.
At state point 3, your HP3 at HF at ito HF 35 degrees Celsius at 35 degrees Celsius. Your HF is equal to anong HF natin?
So, ano pa ang ating future value?
243.075.
That is 11,087.7. Next one.
Then
Guys,
at
walang
state
bago
point
dyan. Wala akong
4,
nakikita ang nagsasagot. Ayun yung
that will
nagamaklase.
just be equal to your
Wala akong
state
nakikita ang
point 3.
nagsasagot. Yan na yun. Yan, walang bago sa pagsasolve natin ng H3.
243.075
Naka in
kilojoule
terms of
per
temperature lang
kilogram.
yan.
Yan, so
Wala na, yun
ganun.
na
Ganun
magklase.
yung mangyayari.
Didismiss ko na kayo.
Again, ang
Gusto
kailangan
nila.
nating gawin
Walang problema
ay
sa akin.
hanapin.
Basta tatapusin
In
nyo
this
yung quiz
case kasi
mamaya.
guys, kung mapapansin nyo,
Pwede
wala
ko kayo
tayong
dismiss na ngayon.
binigay na pressures, 'di ba? Wala tayong binigay na pressures. So, ang ginawa natin, kinuha natin ang mga pressure muna, ang mga pressure. So, ganito yung
Anong
process.
nalabas
Kailangan
sa
natin
calcul
kuhanin
mo?
yung mga pressures. para makapag-evaluate tayo ng system.
Again, dapat sa P2 yan. Sa P2 1.3551. Doon
Pero
lang
kapag
yan
mas
magmamali.
madali lang siya,
Kaya nga
kapag
sabi ko,
binigay
you
ang
follow,
condensing
you use
pressure at
P2
saka
muna as
evaporating pressure, mas madali siya
1.351
kasi
kasi ito yung ginamit dito sa
sasubstitute na lang
calculation.
kayo, 'di ba? Magsa-substitute na lang kayo. Automatic maso-solve nyo na siya. Ayun.
You have to make sure na naka-kilopascal yung
So,
gagamitin yung
Yan,
pressure.
we have our
Dapat
H4
naka-kilopascal
equals
yun.
H3.
Kasi, kailangan yung
Next,
sagot is
anong una
kilojoule
nating
per
hinahanap?
kilogram.
A required
Yun,
refrigerant mass
i-double
flow
check.
rate.
You double check.
Paano natin makukuha? Yan. That is, kailangan muna nating makuha kung gaano karami ang heat absorbed. Sorry,
60,000.
kailangan nating makuha ang heat removed ng tubig. Again, guys, 'di ba? Ang heat remove ng tubig natin ay equal sa heat added ng refrigerant, 'di ba? Tandaan 'yon. So paano natin iso-solve ang
Walang question. At ito lang ang ating discard.
paano natin makukuha ang value na 'yan? So i-evaluate natin ang ating tubig, yung heat rejected sa tubig. That is your mass, or ang gawin natin ay kuhanin muna natin ang
Yung isa sakto.
okay. Ano ang value natin dito, 'di ba? This is M. Tp delta T, 'di ba? Equals ng mass ng refrigerant times your H1 minus H4. Tandaan nyo yan, di ba? Kasi sa evaporator nangyari yan. Kasi alam natin, again, nag-remove ng heat ng tubig. Nag-remove ng heat sa tubig sa evaporator. So, kaya sa evaporator tayo nag-evaluate. Ito ay sa evaporator. So, ngayon, pansinin ninyo, nagkameron ng phase change ang tubig from liquid, naging solid siya kasi naging yellow siya. Kaya, we have to consider our phase change. So, ano ibig sabihin natin? Ano ibig sabihin ko doon? Kapag guys, nagkameron ng pagpapalit ng phase ang ating fluid, we have to consider itong latent heat of fusion. Ito, latent heat of fusion of water. Yan. Need natin i-consider yan. That would be added during the phase change. Ibig sabihin, let's say, i-evaluate muna natin again ito. I-evaluate natin ito. Kuhanin muna natin ang sa tubig. Let's say, mag-evaluate muna tayo ng 1 kilogram. Let's say, yung 1 kilogram ng tubig, MCP delta T, tandaan nyo, ito muna ang gawin natin. Yung 1 kilogram ng tubig, times nyo CP, anong CP ng tubig? That's 4.187 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Times, ano ang freezing point ng tubig? Anyone, ano ang freezing point ng tubig? Freezing, ano ang pressure, ano ang freezing point ng tubig? Paki-type. So that is 0. That is 0 degree. So ibig sabihin kung ang tubig natin nag-start at 29 degrees Celsius, nag-start tayo at 29 degrees Celsius, so yung delta T natin will be 29 minus 0.
29 minus 0 kasi ito, tandaan ito ay liquid pa. Liquid state pa 'to, tandaan, liquid state pa 'yan, liquid state pa 'yan. So, therefore, kaya siya ang i-evaluate muna natin na temperature change ay sa liquid state. Then, mag-a-undergo siya ng phase change. Again, mag-a-undergo siya ng phase change. That will be the time na i-a-add mo yung latent heat of fusion. Yung latent heat of fusion. So, that would be 1 kilogram pa din. Para mas madali guys, sa 1 kilogram muna tayo mag-evaluate. 1 kilogram times your latent heat of fusion. Your latent heat of fusion is 335. 335 kilojoule per kilogram. Yan. And then, plus, since nag-undergo siya ng phase change, ito yon liquid. Tapos ang sunod na in-evaluate nyo, in-add nyo ang phase change. Nagkameron ng phase change. Sunod nyo na ngayong i-evaluate ay, since nag-undergo na ng phase change, ay yung change in temperature sa yellow. Therefore, ito naman ay magiging 1 kilogram times your CP ng ice, binigay ang CP ng ice, that's 2.094. So that's 2.094 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Delta T. So nasa na ngayon yung yellow, di ba? Nag-undergo na nga ng phase change. So this would be 0. Mag-evaluate tayo mula 0 papuntang anong temperature? Ito. Negative 12. So that's 0 minus negative 12. Yan. So this will be your heat rejected. O ito yung tinanggal na heat sa tubig. Ito yung total heat rejected. So you substitute. Again, this is a tubig. Ito yung i-add sa evaporator. Yung i-absorb ng evaporator natin. So, ano ang value natin? Anong heat rejected natin? This is 481. 0.551. Oops, 481.551 kilojoule per kilogram. Kasi again, nag-evaluate tayo per kilogram, 'di ba? Naka per kilogram 'yan. Nag-evaluate tayo, okay. Ito guys, pansinin niyo, per kilogram tayo nag-evaluate per 1 kilogram. So, 'yan. And then next, sinabi natin dito, 'di ba? Sinabi natin dito na it is estimated that heat losses amount to 20% of the total heat removed from the water. Tandaan, meron daw heat losses na amounting to 20% of the total heat removed from the water. So ito 'yan, yung ibig sabihin yung ating heat added is na actual is 0.8 ng heat added ng yung heat added sa system natin. So, paano natin siya ilalagay dito? Paano natin siya ihalin tulad dito? Since ito yung total heat removed natin from the water, ito yung total heat removed from the water, dito natin i-add yung 20% pa. So, this would be, ita-times mo to ng 1.20. Maintindihan, guys, isa pa. Kasi itong ating actual heat absorbed natin is just amounting to total heat added, 'di ba? Eh since may losses pa nga daw, may losses pa doon sa total or doon sa actual, this would be i-add natin 1.2. Gawin na lang natin tong 1.2 para hindi kayo malito. Yan. Kasi 'di ba, ito heat remove. Yung ating QA, yung original nating QA, yung i-a-add natin sa system, that is our heat remove, 'di ba? Since magkaka-losses pa din, may matatanggal pa rin daw na 20%. So ibig sabihin, i-a-add mo 'to sa heat removed, itong 20%. Kaya yung ating nasagot dito na heat remove from the water, ita-times natin ng 1.2 pa. Kasi again, may losses pa daw. And that losses ay yung ni-remove. Yan. So I hope you're getting that. Dapat naiintindihan nyo kung paano siya ini-evaluate. So you get this, the heat rejected. This is 577.8612. Kilojoule per kilogram. So ibig sabihin, ito na yung actual natin na heat added sa system, sa evaporator. So, palitan natin to. Gawin natin tong QR ng H2O para hindi kayo malito. QR ng H2O. Yan. Therefore, ito na yung QAA natin, yung actual na heat added sa refrigerant sa evaporator. So yan, isulat natin dito QAA actual equals 577.8612 kilojoule per kilogram. Now, since binigyan tayo ng mass, 'di ba? Binigyan tayo ng mass na 500 binigay na mass ay 5,000 kilograms. So, ito, ita-times pa natin ng 5,000 kilograms. Ito, 5,000 kilograms. Para makuha natin yung total heat added o yung refrigerating capacity natin. This would be equal to 2889306. 2889306 kilojoule. Kilojoule na siya. Ngayon, since meron na tayong actual heat added, kuhanin na natin ang mass ng refrigerant. Mass ng refrigerant H1 minus H4. You substitute 2889306 kilojoule equals mass ng refrigerant, ang H1 natin is H1 natin is 397.06 minus H4 na 243.075. Yan. So ano ang mass ng refrigerant natin? Guys, may mali tayo. Nakita ko na yung mali natin. May mali tayo. Balik tayo dito. Kasi sinabi nga pala sa given natin na must be completed within 20 hours. Ito, may time nga pala tayo dito, guys. Sorry. Ito, may time tayo dito ng 20 hours. So, ito, sa pagkuha ng heat added, di ba? Hindi pa pala ito naka-kilowatts. Guys, hindi ito naka-kilowatts. Kailangan naka-kilowatts to. Para makuha natin yung kilogram per second. So, this would be, oops. Ito, ulitin natin. Kailangan naka-kilowatts yung sagot natin, di ba? So, ito ay 5,000 kilogram na meron tayong binigay na time na 1,000 20 hours. 'Di ba kailangan natin i-kilojoule per second. So, ito ay 1 over 20 hours para siya ay maging kilojoule per hour. So, 1 hour 3,600 seconds. Yan. Anong ating heat added dito? Sorry guys. Na-overlook natin 'yon. So that's 42.12925. 40.12925 kilowatts. So ngayon, ito ngayon yung ating ni dito. 40.12925 kilojoule per second para makuha natin yung mass ng refrigerant. Masyadong malaki kasi yung nakuha natin kanina. Kaya nagduda ako agad na mali yung ginagawa natin. Your MR is equal to 0.2606. 0.2606 049 kilogram per second. So this is your mass flow rate ng refrigerant. So that's for your letter A. Ngayon, hinahanap ay heat rejected sa condenser. Heat rejected sa condenser, that will be QR equals mass ng refrigerant. Condenser, that's H2 minus H3. You substitute your MR, may given tayong MR. H2 natin is 440.621709. 440.612709. Tama ba? Mali. 621709. 621709. Minus H3 is 243.075. Oops. Hindi na lang sumulat. 240.075. 243, sorry. 243. So ating QR is equal to 51.4816 4608 4816 kilowatts. Then your work ng compressor, since na-solve natin yan kanina, gawin natin itong power, gawin natin itong P, power, so that's mass ng refrigerant times your work ng compressor na na-solve natin kanina. So you multiply yung mass ng refrigerant, ito, then work ng compressor ay ito, yung 43.5617. Yun. Anong magiging sagot natin? Anong work ng compressor natin? That would be equal to 11.35239.608 kilowatts. So this is your work na compressor in terms of kilowatts. How are you going to verify kung tama ang inyong sagot sa work ng compressor? You can also use work ng compressor is equal to your Q rejected minus your QA. Kasi 'di ba this is your work net din. So pag pinag-minus mo itong QR tsaka itong iyong actual QA, this should also arrive at this 11.335. Yan. Yan. So that is how you solve. That is how you solve using without using Moliere diagram. Without using Moliere diagram, ganyan tayo magso-solve ng ating system. Ayan. So yan, ganyan. Guys, sino may tanong? So yan guys, sino may tanong? Again, ganyan yung tamang hindi siya yung tama, but that's the exact way of solving your state point 2 concerns, clarification. Saglit, kapag nagsosolve tayo ng enthalpy at state point 2, we get the work na compressor using that formula. And yon again, gaya na sabi ko kanina, you resolve all of those kasi yung P2 na ginamit sa calculation doon is mali. Dapat is 1.3551, not 1.3351. So you resolve that kasi by 7 PM then, well, i-resolve nyo siya after kasi I tell you guys, nasolve na natin lahat ng problem na nasa book. So most likely, alam nyo na kung anong lalabas na nasa exam kasi yun, na-discuss na natin lahat. O pag hindi nyo pa rin siya masolve at hindi nyo inaral lahat ng binigay kong sample problems, wala na, hindi nyo din masasagutan yung exam. Kasi kapareho lang noon. Kapareho lang ng ating mga pinagdi-discuss. Yun. So make sure na isosolve nyo, i-resolve nyo yan to get the correct values for this. But the solution-wise, tama yung process natin. Tama yung kung paano natin siya sinolve. Tama lahat ng steps na yon. Mali lang yung value natin sa simula. Yun. Sino yung may concern? Nag-raise ng hand.
Okay na po sir, natanong ko lang po sana yung sa P2. Okay, nakuha ko na po yung work ng compressor po. 43.99.
Basta dapat siya ay saglit. Dapat yung mapapalabas doon work yung H2 dapat nalalabas doon is 441. 441.0524. Paki-take note. Dapat ng H2 nalalabas doon ay 441.0524319. Kasi na-resolve na namin yun. Na-resolve namin yun ng previous section. So, doon kayo magsisimula ng correct values, yung H2. Yung H2 lang yung mali doon at yung work ng compressor. At yung pressure, syempre, kasi state point to tayo nagkamali. Yun. Again, guys, by 7 o'clock, may activity 1.2 tayo. Isosolve nyo yun. Deadline nun is 10 PM. Yun na lang. Yung dalawang problem na yun na lang ang hindi natin na-discuss. So, I want you to solve that para familiar kayo sa iba't ibang problems na pwedeng lumabas sa prelims. Again, na-discuss na natin lahat yon and sasagutan nyo yan the way we answered this question. So, I expect na masasagutan nyo, madadalian kayo sa ref ng prelims. Kasi, again, paulit-ulit lang ang tagal natin sa topic na to. Halos 3 linggo. Yun, sinong may tanong, may concern, clarification? As of now, wala pang schedule ang exam. I'll let you know kapag meron na rin naman. I'll let you know kaagad. Yes,
Sir, saan po isusulat yung activity?
kayong bahala. Kayong bahala kung gusto niyo
Ah,
isulat nyo na
sige
sa
po. Thank you
bond
po.
paper. Well, kung problem set ang tanong, sa long lahat ng problem set. Kasi 'di ba problem set 'yon. Part din siya ng problem set. So, kung gusto niyo hindi na kayo mag-uulit ng sulat, isulat niyo na sa long bond paper. Pero kung gusto niyo namang sa tingin niyo ay matatagalan kayo sa pagso-solve, ilipat niyo na lang kapag ipapapasok ko na yung problem set. 'Yon. Then siguro I'll regarding kasi 7 minutes na lang, I'll send you a recording din ng parts, well, ng discussion kung may mahihingan ako sa ibang section, kung may nag-record sa ibang section ng discussion ng parts ng technical project, I'll relay that one to you. Ibibigay ko sa class rep nyo, then class rep nyo na lang mag-disseminate nun kung may magsisend from other sections. And I believe meron naman nagre-record doon. So yun. Or kung may kakilala kayo sa ibang sections, hingi na kayo ng copy sa kanila nun kung ano yung mga parts ng technical project. Ayun. And yung mga hindi pa nakapagpa-check, walang problema. Basta siguraduhin yung may perma ko yan pag tayo ay nag-present sa presentation. Kasi pag wala, wala tayong magagawa. Hindi yan approve. Yun. Kailan mag-a-approve? Basta palagi akong nasa school ng 12 to 8, 12 to 7, well, 12 to 8, 12 to 8, Tuesday to Friday. Ayun. Sino pang may concern? Questions, clarifications? Wala na? Again, on the day ng preliminary exam, ko i-announce ko sino ang exempted sa prelims. And that would only count kapag nag-attempt mag-solve din yung may exempt kasi ayoko baka mamaya mag-leak, malaman niyo na agad kung sino may exempt. So, yun, hindi counted kapag walang sagot yung may exempt. Let's say si may exempt ay let's say si Yesa yung may exempt. Let's say si Yesa yung may exempt, alam na niya kasi siya yung may exempt, hindi na siya nagsagot ng prelims. So, since nalaman niya siya pala yung exempted, yun nga, hindi siya nagsagot. Then, dumating sa akin yung papel niya, let's say, i-announce ko siya sa kasagsagan mismo ng exam nyo habang nag-e-exam kayo. Doon ko siya like, wala, exam nyo 7 to 10, mga 8:30, ipopost ko sa Google Classroom yon. So, kung let's say, alam ni Yesa beforehand na siya ay exempted, tapos hindi na siya nagsagot nga ng prelims kasi alam niya exempted siya, hindi valid yun. Zero pa rin siya. Hindi kasi hindi siya nagsagot. Hindi siya nag-attempt magsagot ng prelims. Iyon. I hope that's clear. So, yon again, dapat kung sino man yon, kung sino man yung may exempt sa klase, ipakita nyo deserving talaga kayo kasi baka mamaya I will assume na baka kinaka-copy paste nyo lang yung sagot ng mga nauna, nagkataon na laging kayo yung nauuna or kasama sa mga nauuna. Yun. So, kapag wala kayong naisagot at hindi nyo napatunayan yung sarili nyo, hindi valid yun. Yun. Sinong may tanong, may concerns, may clarifications? Sige, if wala nang tanong, pa-screenshot ulit ng attendance, class rep, then let me know if okay na.
1, 2, 3. Okay na po, sir.
Ayun, since that is the case, you study well para sa prelims exam nyo next week. That's it for today. That's it for the week. See you next on week 7, I believe, kasi 2 weeks ang prelims nyo. See you on week 7. Thank you. You have a great day. Good luck.
Thank you.
Sige po, sir.
Po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.